And welcome to week 20 of Walk the Plank, the podcast here at the Perry Athletic Department. We'll take a deep dive into the week that was Perry Athletics, and we'll preview some of the upcoming events of the weekend and into next week. I'm joined here by my co-host, as always, Gene Winters. Thanks for being here, Gene.
Yeah, we're to that exciting part now. It's conference champions, it's championships, it's district. Like, all the playoffs are just right around the corner now.
Yeah, we will dive into that. And, girls CVC champs again, and girls basketball. We're going to have Mindy Allen here to talk some middle school sports as well, but we're also joined by a special guest today, and that's our superintendent of Perry Local Schools, Mr. Todd Porcello. Thanks for being here, Mr. Porcello.
Sure, thanks for having me.
You said earlier that 15 years ago you got interviewed in this similar situation, or the same desk at least, as our assistant principal. So many people may not know that because it was 15 years ago. And a little unique, you started as an assistant principal here in January, and they had you on the show right away. And here you are 15 years later, you're a superintendent, and thought it'd be a good time to have you back on.
Yeah, thanks for having me. It's been a great 15 years. I've enjoyed it.
Good. How is so again, assistant principal 15 years ago, you've been our principal for up until last year and then transitioned over to the superintendent role. How has that transition from high school principal to superintendent gone for you?
Yeah, it's been a great transition. I think when you talk about Perry, the first thing that comes to a lot of people's mind is the facilities that we have. But what really makes this place special are the people that are here every day. It's our students, our staff, it's our parents that support our students daily. So the transition's been great. One of the best things that I did is I had an opportunity to sit down with 40 of our staff members. I invited any staff member that wanted to sit down and share what they think we do, what we're really good at, and where we can improve. So I was able to learn a lot about what goes on K through 12 and even pre-K through 12 within this district, which helped set me up for success in the transition.
Good.
And as you did that transition, how did your day-to-day change going from principal to superintendent?
Yeah, the day-to-day is a lot different. As a high school principal, you're worried about every little piece that's happening within the building that day. Students coming in, what staffing levels you have, and then you're also trying to look at big picture things of like what needs to be done curriculum-wise and just operation within the building. As we look to the future, as a high school principal, a lot of my focus was how do we build opportunities for students to make sure that they're ready for college, career, military, whatever they decide to do. As a superintendent, it's some of the same work with big picture work. I spent a lot of time looking at school finances, spend a lot of time looking at operations. So I'll spend time with our director of maintenance and operations, IT director, transportation director, as well as all of our principals to make sure that with monthly check-ins that we're doing what we need to do, looking out to the future, but also answering daily questions. A day like today is unique with the power outage that we had this morning. The phone starts ringing off the hook. We have first graders
What
going.
time?
Oh,
Or did you get your first phone call today?
Yeah, 4:45.
Right, okay. Early morning.
Right, so working with Jim Smith, our director of maintenance and operations, looking at are we having school, right? And then HVAC system is struggling because the power is going in and out. We have first graders headed to Playhouse Square for a show today. And so the transportation's calling. It's nonstop from the day. So you have day-to-day activity to make the day go smooth, but then you also have the responsibility of looking out to the picture, school finance, our vision, our instruction, which is what we're really here for, to make sure that is staying up to our world-class standards in Perry.
So really from that building perspective, you are obviously focused on that high school day in and day out as the principal. Now it's just sort of more of a global view. You've got the entire district, K to 12 to worry about, and that's a lot of hats to wear, that's for sure.
Yeah, there's a lot, but once again, great people make the work enjoyable and worth it all.
And so let's transition a little bit into the world of athletics. That's what our podcast is about most of the time. So, how does an athletic department? How do extracurriculars? We can throw them all into one big ball. Extracurriculars, within a school district. What are the importance of those types of programs?
Yeah, I've always been a major supporter of extracurricular activities, whether it's athletics, theater, all the fine arts, music, choir, the things that we're able to do and the learning opportunities that kids have in those settings is hard to match in the traditional classroom. So the life lessons that can be learned, how to deal with success, how to deal with failure, how to collaborate with others, how to get along on a team, how to receive feedback from a coach or director. Those are all vital pieces that help our kids become who they are going to become when they graduate from here and go on and do great things for our society and our community.
And for you, obviously working with TJ in the athletic department, how closely involved are you still? I mean, obviously, when you were the high school principal, you guys were together all the time on boards together and things like that. How close are you guys continuing to work? Is it on you and TJ to decide to bring in new sports, new activities? Like bowling this year was one that a club sport that was just brought in.
Sport.
Trips that teams want to go on. Are you in part of that? Are you involved in that decision making, or is it you leave that to TJ?
Yeah, so TJ's in charge of athletics, and he does a wonderful job, and we appreciate when you get into what TJ Rockwell brings. He brings a great connection with our community as an alumni here. He also brings a great level of passion for all of our athletics, and I'm proud to have worked alongside him the last 15 years as a high school administrator. But when we look at it now in my new role, we still meet weekly every Wednesday, and that traditionally has been superintendent, principal, and athletic director. So throw Mr. Nedzwicki in the mix.
Right.
TJ's coming forward with here's opportunities that we have, here's his vision for athletics, here's day-to-day problems that we're facing, and the three of us work together to continue to push and make sure that our athletic programs offer excellent opportunities at a world-class standard, whether it's facility-wise, opportunity-wise, upgrading, different things that we do. So we're fortunate to have TJ Rockwell as our athletic director, and he does a great job leading the way.
And I appreciate that. It's it's a lot of fun. We love what we do. I think we have I would echo, we have a great community. We have great kids. We have great coaches and families that really athletics is important to them in this community, and we like to sort of show that off when we can. So high school, obviously, you were focused on as the principal, and you mentioned now that in that superintendent role, more of a global view, but since you were focused on the high school, how do you, as the superintendent, sort of matriculate down into the middle school and the elementary school to get sort of those people to get to know you a little bit more and some of the programming that goes on down there? How have you done that in your first 6 months on the job or so?
That's been one of the most enjoyable pieces, right? I lived in the high school world for 15 years, and now it's like a whole new world, right? And it's wonderful because we got great people down there as well working, look at the life of an elementary teacher. Like that's some really serious, important work, right? They're with a kid the majority of the day, and that foundational piece that they're able to set. So my level of respect has always been high for all levels of educators, but maybe even more so now. Like I said earlier, that I got to meet with a lot of different teachers and different staff members across the board, and none of the high school people met with me in the transition. And understandably, we had been 15 years together. So of the 40 people that I met with, it was a lot of elementary, middle school staff. They told their story, helped me learn more about them. And then I try to be in the buildings as often as possible, interacting with people and just seeing what's going on in those buildings. And we have quality principals and assistant principals in both those buildings, and we really have a lot of good things going on. I know you guys focus a lot on athletics, but academically, I'm proud of what we're able to offer as well.
And when you met with these teachers and administrators at the lower levels, was there maybe something that kind of was the theme that kept coming up, or something that maybe you were aware of but might have caught you off guard, or was it kind of what you were expecting? Or let me ask, maybe this way too: were the teachers and administrators open to you, or was it kind of trying to hold back a little bit, trying to maybe feel you out a little bit?
Yeah, no, I feel like we had some really good, honest conversations. Like people that one-on-one, and I think it's a setup so that people can share that. And maybe there was a trust level because I had been here. I wasn't completely new. I was new to being more involved in what their day-to-day operation looks like. If there's one thing that stood out, I think people were very complimentary of the people that they work with, their colleagues, and the confidence that they had. And then I think like a common struggle that people have is they just want to serve kids at the highest level. And kids nowadays, they're evolving, right? It's different than, it's 2026. It's different than teaching in 2006 or 1996. And one of the things that we're doing this year is really looking at all the resources that we have. Are we using staffing levels at the right level? You know, do we need extra staff in here, and maybe shifting of resources? So that's part of the work that our leadership team is doing as we go through the year. And that came out of those meetings of people saying, hey, have you considered this? And have you considered this need and this need? And so they were really good at being transparent on what they felt was some of our biggest struggles. And we've taken that and tried to take action and assess where we're at.
All right. Well, one theme that's been pretty constant lately over the last 10 days or so is our weather. It's obviously been very cold, very snowy. We've had different storms and all kinds of warnings. And, you know, my phone always seems to be beeping with some new warning, whether it's cold weather or more inches of snow. So a topic that's out there, I think, in our community, especially amongst kids. Kids are never disappointed when there's a snow day. I know that's how it is at my house. So how the process of determining whether it's a snow day or a cold day, and there is a difference there. You can go into that if you want, but
Sure.
How does that all happen? How just give a sort of a behind, pull back the curtain a little bit into your world as the superintendent and how that all goes down.
Yeah. Snow days and cold days are complex, right?
Yeah.
If there was an easy way to figure it all out, it wouldn't be the topic of conversation that it always becomes in every community across the board.
Yeah.
With that being said, let's break down like a traditional snow day, which is typically because the road conditions are poor.
Right.
So a lot of times that decision is made the day of.
Yeah.
So it starts early in the morning. Jim Smith, who I mentioned before, Director of Maintenance and Operations, Steve Lawson, our bus mechanic, they'll get in vehicles and drive the roads. I've also driven the roads out there as well.
Yeah.
And we compare notes, we look at what's going on out on the roads and make a decision. So some of the things we're looking at is some of our more risky roads, a river road, different parts in North Perry that are more on the outskirts of Perry. What's the depth of the snow? What's the amount of ice? And then we're also looking for what type of maintenance crews are out on the road. Are there signs that snow is being cleared out? One of the more recent situations that we've had is throughout the region, and you'll see it in the news, is the lack of salt.
Yeah.
Right? So that played into effect on this week's snow day, which was Wednesday. That was more of a road condition than cold weather.
Right.
So we're taking all of those variables into account. A snow day, 5 inches of snow on a 30-degree weather is different than 5 inches of snow at 0-degree weather because of the effectiveness of salt.
Right.
So all these things are factoring into the decision. And what weighs on my mind is I'm going to ask a bus driver to go drive a bus with 30-plus kids on it, and we're putting kids potentially at risk. So while academics is vitally important in what we're here for, the safety of our students remains a priority. So that's more of the road condition piece. A cold day and is often based a lot on a wind chill, right? So a wind chill is a human felt temperature of when we're out there. And so you're looking at the ambient temperature, you're looking at the strength of the wind. And I've been known to log on to numerous weather apps, chart out what the weather by weather is being predicted, because if you look at those, you'll see that there are various pieces.
Yeah.
You have the National Weather Service that's out there. So I'm taking all this data, looking at it, and trying to really make a decision that I think is in the best interest of students. There's people that love snow days, there's people that hate snow days. It's one of those situations that if I make one decision, there's people that are thrilled, students specifically, right?
Yeah, right.
And the other side of it, there's parents that are inconvenienced by it. And I get that part. That's tough. But safety ultimately has to prevail in those situations. So ultimately it's complex. We are fortunate then the other element here is on our own campus, our maintenance and custodial staff have to make sure that walkways are cleared, that parking lots are plowed, that our own driveways, we deal with our own salt issues. But we've been fortunate. We had delivery of 3 truckloads on Friday because Jim Smith is Jim Smith and has connections and is able to make sure that we have what we have. So our maintenance and custodial do a wonderful job, right? They're here at 4 a.m. in the morning, making sure that we're able to, if we can get kids here, then we can then get them into the building, their own parking lots. So shout out to all of our internal staff that does a great job, from Jim Smith, Steve Lawson, making sure that the buses are up and running. On a day like today, Steve Lawson was here before 5 o'clock in the cold weather, making sure that the buses can start up. We had -10 temperature.
Yeah, no
Our bus-
wind. I think if we had
No
wind
wind.
today, probably would have been
Probably would've done
potentially a cold day but there was literally no wind. It's
Right.
sort of that bone-chilling cold, but not cold enough necessarily.
Right.
But yeah, those
So
guys
that's
do a
the big
great
picture
job.
of everything that's going on. You know the people as well.
Yeah.
You benefit from it as an AD
Yeah.
from the people that we have working here. A lot of times they're behind the scenes. Frank Roposh
Oh, yeah.
doing certain things,
Well,
right? to
Frank's
make
coming
it
in.
go
A lot
on.
of these guys are coming in at 3:30.
Right.
You know, they're working 12-hour shifts just to get, make sure that our sidewalks and our, as you said, the parking lots and the roads on campus are clear and ready to go for when people start showing up around 7 o'clock. So it can't happen in 15 minutes. So they're coming in extra early. And I know that this weather's wearing on them, but they do a fantastic job day after day getting here and getting our place ready to go. Whether it's for an athletic event, we transition so many things from basketball to wrestling, back to basketball, and all the folks here do a great job.
Right. So while your road may be clear in front of
Yeah.
your house, there's a lot of roads at Perry, and
Yeah.
we're trying to do what's in the best interest of the safety of our students.
Yeah.
And being a travel baseball coach and parent, I'm sure you've had all the weather apps and all. Have you added any more new ones? How do you go through that? Like, how many apps are you looking at? Are you watching all the news stations? Are you,
Yeah.
5, 6? It seems like there's one on every hour, 10,
Yeah.
11. Like, at what point, take us through that as to kind of start that determination on if it's going to happen.
So it's weather.com is my go-to app, AccuWeather, and those two always have a range, right? Weather.com is always more conservative on the cold weather. AccuWeather is at a different level. WeatherBug is another one that's out there.
Yeah.
WKYC, Mark Johnson's out there.
Yeah, right.
But the thing you have to question about sometimes with the WKYC or Channel 8 is their prediction sometimes based on getting additional clicks, right? So I default more to the other weather apps. National Weather Service is probably the most reliable, and looking at whether there's a warning or an advisory out there and taking that all into consideration.
And how do you work with other superintendents in the area? Like today, we saw, as a good example, Asheville County. The entire county was down. So I'm sure people are talking, heads of schools, superintendents are talking. How much does that play into it? Obviously, we've just talked about how the roads are in Perry. That's our number one priority. But how does that work into the equation of a snow day or a cold day?
Yeah, there's definitely a text thread, right,
Yeah.
that goes on, and people, from a professional courtesy, updating when they're closing. I text a lot with the Madison superintendent,
Yeah.
because our roads are so, we're
connected
next door
there.
neighbors, right?
Yeah.
We're connected, so there's a lot of chatter back and forth. Specifically when you get into the cold weather season, I'm more of the cold weather versus like the snow day, because of you received 6 inches of snow is going to be different than the cold day, because the cold day is more widespread.
Yeah.
Where a snow could be isolated. We could have a foot of snow in Perry, and on the other side of the county in Wickliffe they have 1 inch of snow, right? So that always varies, but there's certainly conversations that go on the cold weather. Sometimes we'll even come down to like, hey, we're going to send communication out at 5 p.m. on Sunday type of deal.
Right.
On the next weather or cold day, can we go back to the old school? No text messages, no emails, no phone calls. You just have to wait for it to come on the next morning on the news.
Right, and then you have to worry about Perry. Is it Lake or Perry Start?
Yeah,
right.
right.
And then even when I was back in school, some kids stole the code to I think WKYC. So they come
Awesome.
out that the Wickliffe City Schools were canceled, but sure enough, then they came on and said no, Wickliffe City Schools is on. So
That's funny.
That
Don't get any ideas out there,
yeah,
kids.
the
No
pains
ideas.
of that was that's real when you had to lay there in front of the TV and watch.
Yeah, we'll listen on the radio, and then there's 60,000 that go through before yours comes on. Yeah, I mean, it would be nice for one day, just for
To go
the
back
kids
old
to,
school.
to experience
Live
once.
it the way we
Yeah.
had to live it. Yeah.
Yep.
All right. Well, Mr. Porcello, we appreciate your time here today. Before we get you out of here, we'll start. I don't know what kind of questions they asked you 15 years ago when you were sitting in this chair, but now as our superintendent, just some sort of get to know you questions as our super here at Perry Local Schools. What is your favorite food?
Favorite food? Let's go with chicken parmesan.
Chicken parm. Now, are you going to a particular restaurant? Do you have a favorite restaurant for your chicken parm?
Well, for my chicken parm, TJ's on the Avenue, top notch.
Okay.
Perry residents.
Yeah,
I don't
right,
know if they
right.
still live in Perry, but
Right.
that Perry family owned it.
Yeah. All right. How about favorite subject in school, or what was your favorite subject in school?
Well, I went to school. I was a history teacher, so history was my top-notch subject. But I always love phys ed. Like, who can get a good workout in and do something fun is always impressive.
Excellent. Favorite movie, or if not a movie, television series, show?
Favorite movie, I think classic Shawshank Redemption.
Okay. Yep.
Intriguing story and plot twist there.
Old school and good. Excellent. One of the top movies of all time, in my opinion. Hobbies outside of what you do here in Perry every day. Gene mentioned you're coaching, travel, baseball. We've coached travel basketball. What hobbies are you into outside of your time here as superintendent?
Love sports. I've coached my kids, and we coach together with travel girls basketball. I've coached the boys baseball team travel for the last 5 years. I've coached soccer. So I love giving back in that way, in that capacity as well. Anytime I can get to work, and when you go into administration, you sometimes give up that opportunity to coach.
Yeah.
I did coach as a teacher, both golf and baseball. So giving back in that way is something that I truly enjoy. If I'm not coaching my kids or other kids, I've been known to be found on a golf course every now and then.
Heard that from time
that's
to
my
time.
that's one of my true passions and joys too. So I enjoy
awesome.
that.
Good.
Well, every time we have the golfers on in the fall, they all want one-on-one competitions with you, and they haven't ever said that they come back and either had it, or maybe you guys have done it and they haven't won, so that's why they don't bring it up. But keep that on your radar for next year. Every single player we've had on wants a piece.
I've played in tryouts with them, and I may have won, but I'll stay humble.
Yeah.
I look forward to any one-on-one match.
What is? Do you have a favorite app or game on your phone?
Favorite app or game? Well,
Weather.com.
I love ChatGPT app. It's
Okay.
pretty fun. We actually did some fun photos for our snow days.
Okay.
Wait, you didn't
yeah.
really build that snowman?
Yeah.
Oh, that one was real.
Okay.
Okay.
In my suit. In my suit. Yeah. Yep.
Favorite memory from your 15 plus years here at Perry,
Favorite memory
or
Athletic
memories?
related,
It doesn't
or
matter. We did
Yeah.
make it when we first started asking the kids. Going to ask our athletes of the week these same
Yeah.
questions. We used to say it had to be a sports, but I would say, and we can even. It doesn't have to just be one. We've said, what are some of your favorite memories of your time here at Perry? That's what we'll ask the kids.
The first one that comes to mind is the 2023 state championship football game, and it's awesome to see win and come out on top. The thing that impressed me the most, like from the time we walked into the gates there, the number of Perry people that came out and supported that was mind-boggling.
It was awesome.
All right, and we had a great slot on that Saturday afternoon.
Yeah.
And I remember when we would score a touchdown, I would just turn around and watch our student section and our fans go wild and and just try to soak that in. So that was one of probably my best memory because of the community connection with it all.
Awesome. And if you could visit any place in the world, where would you pick?
Yeah, I think Italy's on my list. Maybe a Mediterranean cruise and
There
see
you go.
some different sites along there.
Highly recommend
I've
it.
been
It's
to
beautiful.
Greece. I've been to London. I think Italy, Mediterranean is next on my list.
Next up. All right, Ms. Porcello, really appreciate your time here on a busy Friday. It is Friday afternoon. We've got a busy week of athletics here, so we're going to dive a little deeper into that. We appreciate your time being on the show.
Yeah, thank you both
Thanks.
for all your promotion of sports and being there for our kids.
All right.
Everything that you do.
All right. Good luck the rest of the winter. Hopefully no more snow days. I know the kids don't want to hear that, but as an athletic director, I'm tired of changing.
We want to be in school.
We want to be here, so let's go. All right. Thanks, Ms. Porcello. Appreciate it. All right. Yeah. Tough job because it's going to be, you're going to be 50-50. It's a lose-lose situation sometimes when you got to make that snow day call. So I don't envy that. Similar when you're trying to determine a baseball or a softball game. It's sort of Murphy's Law, right? Like if we call a baseball game at 3:00 because it's raining, the sun's going to come out at 4:30, and we could have played, and vice versa. But it's the way it goes. Sometimes we got to make that call, and it's early morning for all of these guys. Like he said, not only himself up driving around 4:30, 4:45, but Jim Smith and Steve. And all of the crew here, they do a fantastic job. So, and all of our bus drivers, keeping our kids safe. Shout out to all of them. It's fantastic. So, we'll move on to our athletes of the week. We're going to call up Carly Lohr. Come on up, Carly. You're going to have a seat right here. Carly is our female athlete of the week this week, nominated by her coach, Emily Bowman. She's a cheerleader here for Perry. So, Carly, I'll take one of those back. We'll give that one to Chase. So you get two things here. You get a Canes box combo and your DQ free meal deal with a Blizzard. So we thank you to Canes and Dairy Queen for their sponsorship of our Athlete of the Week program here at Perry. Let's just dive into the season so far, Carly. It's January 30th, so we're a little past the halfway point. It's January, that grind is going. But how do you like winter sport, basketball, cheering versus fall?
All right, so for basketball cheer,
Yeah.
it's definitely a lot different than
Yeah.
football because, first of all, it's inside.
Yeah.
The temperature is different.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I kind of like football season a little bit more
Yeah.
because you're like, I think football is a more fun sport to watch.
Sure.
But basketball is definitely, I like it a lot.
Okay.
And you get to, there's less girls, so
Yeah.
you get to create a closer bond with everyone, and it's pretty fun being able to watch the team, especially when we do win. It's pretty fun. And yeah, but we don't really get to do as much stuff. Like sometimes we have a halftime, but not really.
Yeah.
So that happens, and we stunt sometimes too, but it's a lot harder to do with less girls. But we're still able to make it work, so that's good.
Okay, and at least inside you don't have to wear your rain gear.
Yeah.
You know, you're going to be dry. You don't have to worry about that.
Yeah.
Let's talk a little bit about stunting. When we've had coaches and stuff on before, how did that sort of come into fruition here at Perry? I know it's now approved the OHSAA, except on playoff football games, which is a pretty dumb rule. But we'll digress. How did it start? Have you always stunted? And then we'll get into your background here with the next question. But how did the stunting thing all sort of come together here?
All right, well, I think it started like 3 years ago, I'm
Okay.
pretty sure. So it's kind of new to everyone, especially for the girls coming up from middle school that like
Yeah.
don't do comp cheer or anything, and so like they're really new to it. But before the season starts, we have a cheer camp that
Okay.
teaches us like cheers and our dances that all the material we use throughout the entire season, and it's pretty nice being able to have them come and help us because, like, for our coach who doesn't like she knows how to stunt, but like it's kind of hard for just one person to teach
Yeah.
all of us.
Yeah.
So we have like usually 2 or 3 or 4 girls come out from the elite camps and like teach us how to stunt, and it's like really helpful because they're in college too,
Yeah.
so they know a lot about it, and it's really nice because they're able to help us. And now that we have more girls because the team got bigger from last year, it's a lot easier to stunt, and we're able to like put up multiple stunt groups.
Awesome.
Is it easier to stunt in the gym opposed to the track, or is it kind of the same?
In my opinion, I think it's just kind of easier to stunt outside because you have a lot more space.
Yeah.
And you can sort of do it whenever, because we usually do it during timeouts for basketball and football, but like for football, it's fine if we go a little bit after the timeout, because during basketball, if you're stunting during timeout, you don't want to like be a part of the game. So, yeah.
And when did you begin your cheerleading career? Do you have a background in dance or gymnastics? How did it all come together for you?
Well, so I don't really have much of a background in dance or gymnastics,
Okay.
but when I was younger, I did like tumbling for a
Yeah.
little bit, but my mom put me in cheer when I was in kindergarten and did it from youth all the way up to middle school and then now.
So you've been cheering since kindergarten.
Yeah.
It's quite a long time to do
Yeah.
it. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And you kind of just touched on it, and Coach talked about it when she joined us back in the fall. But how important are having those college coaches here in the summer with you guys, and the student or the college student athletes as well, to kind of help teach you and get you guys to that point where you want to be?
I think it's pretty important because they know a lot more than any of us do, especially even the girls that do comp cheer. Like, they still know more because they're in college and they have a lot more experience. But it just really helps us like get the feel and understanding for like how we're actually supposed to be doing it, because like we can teach ourselves stunts, but it's just not the same as when someone else is there helping you, because they help us a lot, especially when we're learning like new like flips and stuff to do throughout the season, they help us a lot with like spotting us and making sure that we're safe when we're doing it. And yeah.
Do you have a position on the stunt group? I know flyer, base, there's all the different things. What do you do?
Well, I kind of do all of it,
Okay.
mostly, except for back spot, because you kind of got to be tall for that. So, but my freshman year, I was mainly a flyer because I wasn't very strong. But, so I was mainly a flyer, but now this year, all of our flyers are pretty much like seniors.
Okay.
And so, like, it's nice because they get to, like, have a chance to,
Right.
as their senior, to,
Yeah,
like,
so that seniority thing. So once
Yeah.
you become a senior,
Yeah.
you'll have that chance to probably be a flyer again. Okay.
But this year I like transferred from, it was pretty difficult at first transferring from being a flyer to a base because
bet.
I never knew how to base before.
Yeah.
So it's pretty difficult at first, but I like being able to do both things because now like if someone's not there, my coach will put me as a flyer. But mainly this year I'm just a base, but it's pretty nice being able to do both things and pretty helpful too.
Yeah, without a doubt.
Yeah.
And you kind of touched on it with these seniors. What has this senior group meant to you? Maybe in football as well, but at basketball, what has this group of girls meant to you in your development as a cheerleader?
Well, we've only lost one senior from football to basketball cheer, but the seniors, they're really helpful, and I like being able to get to talk to them, and they don't treat us like we're any different than them, so
Right.
it's pretty nice. But they do have like the sense of seniority and leadership, so they are able to help us out and like tell us what to do, but like in a sense that they're just helping us. So I like that, and I've built a really strong connection with all of them over the past couple years. I've been able to cheer with them, and yeah, they're really great.
Awesome, and I know we have, and we love all of our seniors, right? Like, we've got them basketball, girls basketball, wrestling. We've had most of our senior nights already, so our boys basketball and cheer is the only one left on the agenda. That'll be February 17th at home against Jefferson. And we also have a cheer clinic coming up. I know we changed a couple of dates. Where are we at with that clinic? Have we had that yet, or have you guys had that? It's coming up, though, correct?
Yeah, it's coming up.
So I think there's still time to sign up. We see the sign-ups coming into the athletic office. People will mail them in or drop them off. So
Yeah.
I know Coach Bowman said the other day that our numbers, because we changed the date, actually increased. They almost quadrupled. So that's a great thing. What is it like, though, working with those little kids? Because like you said earlier, you started in kindergarten. You were once one of those little girls cheering. What is it like to work with those younger kids in a clinic like that? And then they're going to come out to a game and cheer at halftime with you. How fun is that?
I really like it because I just remember being that young, and I used to go to the clinics and stuff. So
Yeah.
I just remember looking up to these high schoolers and thinking like, that's gonna be me, and like it's pretty nice now knowing that it is.
Yeah.
And I like getting to help them like follow their journey, because like the ultimate goal is to become a varsity cheerleader. So I like being able to help them and do that. And last year it was really fun working with all of them. There was a lot of girls. So it was nice though, because it's just like you get to teach them, and like I don't know, they just like are there, and we just get to teach them, and I like getting to be able to perform with them because
Yeah.
it's pretty fun, and I like getting to see all of them happy.
It's fun. The stands get packed too, a little bit
Yeah.
more than normal, because all the parents will come out
Yeah.
and they want to watch, and it's a pretty cool event. Same thing on when we do our event in the summer, right the week before football kicks off. We have the youth football and cheerleaders, and high school and middle school. We're all there and cheering, and then it's like the youth. It's packed, and then the
Yeah.
youth cheerleaders go, and like everybody gets out of there. It's
Yeah.
like it's a mass exodus, but it just shows you how many there are. And like you mentioned,
Yeah.
there's a lot of them coming up. So that'll be a fun night
Yeah.
coming up.
And for you, you're talking about having those packed crowds. We talk with the players, and they talk about how it helps fuel them, the adrenaline that they have. How does the home crowd, a big crowd, help you guys with cheer?
Well, it doesn't necessarily help us much because, well, other than like stunting, it's pretty fun to see everyone. Like they all clap for us, and it's pretty exciting to get to show everyone our like stunts that we've been working on since summer, and it's pretty fun. But I just like being able to get to see everyone and like it's like a little nerve-wracking, especially like during showcase and everything, all
Yeah.
the different schools. But I like it. It's fun getting to show everyone what we've been working on since
Well,
summer.
let's talk a little bit about that showcase. We were proud to host the event at the end of October here on a Sunday afternoon, and it gets rotated around schools. There's 28 schools now in the CVC, so I don't know when we'll get to host it again. So it's pretty special to do it here. We kicked the event off. We went first. How it take us through that event? How much are you guys? Obviously, you're practicing 2 to 3 times a week
Yeah.
anyway, and getting ready for Friday night. How much energy and time did you guys spend on just that performance on that Sunday afternoon here at the CVC showcase?
Yeah, so when we first started, we had the elite girls come and they gave us our dance, but during the summer. But
Yeah.
it was pretty hard because, like, from the girl that taught us it, like, the material wasn't very put together. So
Okay.
it was like we had to take the material that she was able to give us
Yeah.
and, like, kind of create it into our own and, like, remember it and put it with counts because there wasn't counts before.
Right.
And like it's pretty hard, but it's pretty nice being able to see like where we came from and like
Yeah.
what we got versus like what we turned it into. And like I think so, and even my coach said like we came a long way from
Oh.
the summer into our showcase, but it takes a lot of preparing for it, and we practice like 2 to 3 times a week, and like even before games we would
Yeah.
practice our dance just to like get it through our heads. And yeah, but it was pretty nice being able to go on the day of showcase and perform it for everyone and do
Yeah.
pretty good.
I love it because you guys are the focal point of the day, and you're always there cheering on our teams, and it's just great to give that day to all of the cheer schools throughout the Chagrin Valley Conference. And I realize I'm biased. I've said this to Coach, but we were the best team by far there.
Yeah.
So there's no competition. I know it's not points. We didn't give out points that day, but you guys rocked it and got it done, and it was represented Perry very, very well. So, all right, Carly, thanks for being here today. We really appreciate it. Enjoy your food. Before we get you out of here, we'll get to know you questions here.
All
And again, no wrong answers like we told Mr. Porcello. What is your favorite food?
Strawberry salad.
Okay, interesting. I don't know that we've heard that before. There you go. What is your favorite subject in school?
Like actual subject, I'd say probably math, even though I'm probably better at English.
Okay.
But honestly, strength.
Strength and fitness, right? And
That's a popular.
it really is. And a little footnote to that, like Carly mentioned, you being a base and a flyer and be able to do both. How much has that strength and fitness class helped you?
It's helped a lot because with sports and everything, and like doing multiple sports and
Yeah.
homework and all that stuff,
Yeah.
it's pretty hard to like be able to go to the pack by yourself
Right.
and like make time for it.
Yeah.
And not having a car too is
Right.
pretty
Yeah.
hard.
So you can get it done during the day, right?
Yeah,
you knock
so-
out the workout.
Yeah,
and,
it's nice.
It's awesome. It's a great program.
Yeah.
Hats off to Coach Christinger and
Yeah.
and his crew. Keeping up with our questions here, what is your favorite movie? And if not a movie, a TV show or series?
Probably 10 Things I Hate About You.
Okay. Any hobbies outside? You mentioned you're a multi-sport athlete here. You've got
Yeah.
cheer. You've got all the stuff going on in your life. Any hobbies outside of all the stuff?
I guess just like sleeping is a big
Okay,
one.
right.
And I don't know.
Hey, they say sleep's very important. You have to get your hours. You got to get your rest.
I guess that's
Makes
it.
you stronger.
Yeah.
Favorite app or game on your phone?
Probably. Okay, I'd say Snap.
Okay. Yeah. You have that?
That I know.
No, you don't have that. Okay.
I only have
Instagram?
a couple. I do have Instagram.
Okay, you have Instagram.
We split on how to track our girls. So
Okay.
I have a couple.
Okay.
Life has a couple.
Got it. Okay. All right, Carly. What is, again, it can be any memory from your time here in Perry all the way on up. What are some of the things you're going to take away from here as some of your favorite memories?
All right, probably from a while ago, but
Yeah.
I'd say the DC trip in
Okay.
8th grade.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I'm so glad we get to do that now. I know the COVID thing was we had a couple years there where they didn't get to go, and it's sort of I feel really bad for those grades that don't get to go because it is a lot of fun experience.
Yeah.
I went on it myself and many years ago, and it was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
If you could visit any place in the world, money's not an object. Where are you heading?
Probably Costa Rica.
Costa Rica. I've heard it's beautiful. It's on my list too.
Yeah.
All right, Carly. Thanks
All
for
right.
joining us.
Thank you.
Congratulations on a great
you.
season.
Thank you.
Thanks for being here. Enjoy the food from Cane's and from Dairy Queen.
Thanks for having me.
All right, thank you. Heading to West G tonight.
Yep.
So that's a good transition as we bring up our male athlete of the week because he'll be heading to West Geauga as well. And that is Chase Savant. Come on up, Chase. Member of our boys basketball team here at Perry. Thanks for being here, Chase.
Thanks for having me.
Oh, yeah, you got it. There's your food. We added that since the last time you were here.
Thank
Little
you.
Canes
Yep.
as well.
2
It's
and
sort
1.
of a popular thing. Yes, two for one now, Chase. So keep working hard. But hey, Coach Ispano nominated you. Just the other day, coming off, was it 27 or 29 points? I couldn't remember.
27.
27 points over at Edgewood. A huge road win for the Pirates. That was our third win in a row. We'll start at that game, and then we'll maybe work our way backward a little bit. But what was the game plan going into that Edgewood game, and how did you come up with, not that how you come up with it, but was that the plan for you to score that many points, or just you had some opportunities based on the looks that they were giving you? A very aggressive defense, but if they didn't get a steal or a turnover, then we were able to sort of break that press and create some shots.
Well, they were face guarding Caden,
Okay.
so I would drive to his side and they wouldn't help, so I could just get right to the basket.
Yeah.
It'd be a lot easier for me to score.
And you knocked down a couple of threes as well, so
Yeah.
it's always a good thing when you can drive that ball, like you said, and I think that's definitely your specialty. But then you throw a couple of 3-pointers in there like you had, and it was just really hard to guard if you're able to do both. So hats off on a fantastic game leading us to victory at Edgewood the other day.
And
Thank you.
when you see the first one go in, does that kind of make the game easier for you that day? And as your teammates are continuing to pump you the ball and show that they have the confidence in you?
Yeah, it definitely gives you confidence when you see the first couple fall. It just charges you for the rest of the game.
And so again, third win in a row. We're currently 6-8 overall. We're heading to West Geauga tonight for another big CVC game on the road. Tough environment to play. I'm assuming a Friday night they're probably going to have a decent student section there. How fun is that to play in that type of environment where you're sort of the enemy, so to speak, and you've got a loud, boisterous crowd rooting against you, and going into that game, they're going to be hungry for us, right? We beat them in OT. So they're going to be ready to play tonight, just like we are. How fun is that to play in that environment?
It's definitely really fun because when they're all chirping at you and then you just hit a three and then you shush them up, it gets
Right.
real quiet.
Right.
And
And for you,
That's
your
Love it.
game, how is it continuing to improve throughout the year? Was there something that maybe you struggled with early on that you've really ramped up the last couple of weeks, or maybe even from last year to this year that you improved on?
definitely the 3-point shot. Last year I didn't hit that many, and this year I've been working on threes and I've been making them more.
And how does a guy like Caden, obviously he's known as a three-point specialist, how does he help your game? Obviously you mentioned being able to drive a little bit more in this last game, but overall just having him back on this roster and with you guys again.
It's definitely a lot. He helps us a lot because when I drive, then his guy will sometimes guard me. I'll pass it out to him and he'll hit a three. It's a lot. It's good.
Yeah. And I know I'm going to look to one game that this year, and it was the first game of our 3-game win streak here when we hosted Madison. And obviously, we all know Madison's a rival. It's always great to beat our rival in any sport across the board. But you guys, to me, and I'm not at practice all the time. I'm not in the locker room all the time. But I had a sense that day. That you guys had a little extra edge, a little extra focus. We had just come off a rough game the night before over at Hawken, which, by the way, they're probably going to end up in the Final Four again. They are loaded over there in Hawken. But now we're a rival the next day. I could just sense something about our again, just that edge. Did you sense that? Did you guys talk about it as a team? Because we came out and dominated Madison that night, and we're up by over 20 points for much of the game. Came out right out of the gate and sort of blew them out.
Yeah, we definitely could feel the energy. They were going to bring a lot of people to
Yeah.
come watch this game, and we needed the win.
Yeah.
We lost a couple before that, so
Yeah.
we needed to change the memo and get
Yeah.
rolling.
Well, I love it because I'll point to that game. I have no idea what's going to happen the rest of the year here. Again, we're sitting at 6-8 with a chance to to get to 500 if we can get a couple more wins. Obviously, it starts tonight at West G, but I'm going to point to that game as sort of, where we turned it around a little bit, and it was a great game. Not only to beat Madison, but to sort of right ourselves a little bit.
And for you guys at the start of the season, maybe it didn't go the way you guys were expecting. Did you guys learn more about your team during that little tough stretch to get the season going, and that maybe will help you now as you make the final run of this season into the postseason?
Yeah, it definitely did. We had a lot of harder games, so it prepared us more for towards the end of the year. And so maybe we can stack up some more wins and get above 500.
Yeah, and it's just the way it works. I can't come down hard on myself. Sometimes the athletic director will give a team a hard start or not. It's just the way things worked out. Chagrin Valley Conference sets our schedule. I have no control over that. And so 4 of our losses are against teams that are ranked in the state of Ohio. I mentioned Hawken. We have 2 losses against Hawken. We have 2 losses against a very good Harvey team who beat Hawken. So half our losses are right there. So I think we're getting to the point now where we've got some confidence. And let's just talk a little bit about Chase transitioning from football to basketball and how tough that is sometimes. We played a game on November 21st, Friday night against Glenville. We come back, and by Wednesday, I think the next week, you guys were having practice. The day before Thanksgiving, you're having a practice. How tough is that to do? And then how tough is to get your basketball legs under you and sort of in the flow of a season? How tough is that?
It's definitely very tough because you're in football shape,
Yeah.
and then you transition to basketball, and then you're not in shape. It's a lot different because
Yeah.
you're running back and forth a lot more, and then shots aren't really falling when you come back much.
Yeah.
So that takes a while to get your confidence up. Yeah.
What is it like playing for Coach Ice? Obviously, you come off of Coach Gestowich and coaching at Zwicky on the football side, coming in with Coach Ice and Coach Graham. What is it like, that transition, and how in your last, 3 seasons now with Coach Ice, how has that gone?
Well, yeah, he gets very intense sometimes. He pushes us to go really hard on defense this year. That's been more of a memo on defense this year.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And then I know when we had Carter on a couple of weeks ago, he mentioned one of the strengths of this team, and I would agree with him wholeheartedly, is really be able to get out in transition and run and score. I think we have great athletes. Our athleticism, we talk about our speed and strength class. I think athlete to athlete on the court, we can stack up with anybody out there in terms of our quickness and our athleticism. So how is that transition, I guess, to the floor? And I know, like, against Harvey, as I mentioned, it was a loss over at Harvey. We were down 20-plus points at halftime. We can take it all the way back to 6 because of our trapping and our doubling type of defense that got a lot of easy points in transition. So how can we build upon that, I guess, for the rest of the year, and how does that work?
Well, our speed helps a lot because we're not very tall.
Right.
So we have the mentality to go out and just scrap the whole game, get steals, and try and push in transition and get easy layups.
You guys only have 2 seniors on this roster, but a lot of you juniors have played basketball or football or any sport together for a number of years. Is there a comfort level knowing that you're there with Nate and Caden and Carter and whomever right down the line? Is there a comfort level playing with guys that you have grown up with?
Yeah, we can trust in everybody. I've been playing with them like my whole life, so you know what their game and know what they're gonna do. So you can just trust them to make the shot and knock it down.
All right, Chase. Well, we appreciate your time. We'll run through these questions. We'll see if they changed any since we had you on here last time. What is your favorite food?
It's still burger.
Still burger. All right. Favorite subject in school probably hasn't changed much either.
Strength and fitness.
Strength
yeah.
and fitness. I love it. Any favorite movie or show? TV show. Sorry.
Recently it was Stranger Things.
Okay. Yeah, that's obviously a very popular one. Any hobbies outside of sports? You're a 3-sport athlete here: football, basketball, right to baseball, and then summer right to more training. Right. So what are you doing outside of that to sort of have fun?
I'll fish in the summer.
Okay.
I got a 4-wheeler. I'll ride that around.
Okay.
And then I'll play some video games.
Awesome. Favorite app or game on your phone?
Geometry Dash right now.
Okay. You know that one?
I don't.
Okay.
I have to take a look.
Google that.
Yeah.
Favorite memory from Perry overall? Anything doesn't. It can be the same as the last time. It can be different. What's one of your top ones so far?
It's definitely the state game. I don't think
Yeah.
that's going to change unless we win one next year.
All right, then it could go right up. Right, they'd be 1 and 2 or 1A and 1B. Right. Visit any place in the world, Chase. Where are you heading?
I would say Italy.
Okay. Like
Yeah.
Mr. Porcello, he wants to head over to Italy.
Yeah.
All right, Chase, Savon,
Thank you.
excellent job so far. Great
Yes,
job
thanks.
the other
Thank
night.
you.
Good luck tonight at West G as we travel to take on the Wolverines. Triple header out at West G tonight. 4:30 freshmen, 5:45 JV, and a 7 p.m. varsity tip out in West Geauga.
Yeah, 8 of the next, or I should say 5 of the next 8 coming on the road for
Yeah.
the Pirates. But they do have a home game coming up on the 3rd against Geneva before closing it out with back-to-back games. But the other thing, they jumped up another spot in the
Yeah.
RPI, so up to
I think we're
18 now.
18, and we keep winning. West G's just ahead of us. They're like 15th. So if we get a win tonight, we'll be 7 and 8, and we'll be right on the fringe.
Mm-hmm.
And that's out of 40 teams. So we're already in the top half, even with a 6 and 8 record. And that again just shows sort of the toughness of our schedule at the beginning part of the year. So. But yeah, good luck to the boys tonight as they travel to West Geauga. And we're joined, as you can see, by our Miss Everything. She does everything here at Perry Local School. She is our middle school athletic director. She's the assistant AD. Soon to be,
Yes.
what are we going to call this thing? Spirit shop?
Yeah,
Director?
well,
I
don't know, like
Wow.
school spirit store.
Yeah.
I think the plan is to be bigger than that, but
Yeah.
we're gonna keep it open. But I'm super excited. Checked out a new space today.
Yeah.
And the possibilities are endless.
Yeah, so we'll little tease there. We'll talk
Yes.
about that at the end of the show here, what your plans are with that whole thing. But let's talk about middle school athletics and where we're at right now with our 7th and 8th grade teams. I know we had some excitement to end the girls' basketball
Yes.
season. Both teams played in the championship games, respectively, in the Chagrin and Lake divisions
Correct.
in the CVC. Yeah.
Correct. And I guess fortunately, nobody in the CVC ever wants to host the middle school tournament.
Yeah. Somehow
So
we
we
keep
are
getting it.
blessed.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think it's because we do such a great job. We're great hosts.
Yep.
We have great
Yep. That
facilities.
must be it.
Yeah, and we provide an awesome experience for these kids. They
Right.
we bring in an announcer. Matt Herman helps us out and does
Yeah.
a tremendous job. We play music. We announce every kid.
Yeah.
We give them a real championship, feel
to it, yeah.
So, and that's for all 4 championships in the CVC, the Chagrin Lake and the Metro Valley for 7th and 8th grade. So,
Yeah.
and we'll do it again for the boys
Yeah,
here.
here we
and,
go again,
in
February
another month.
28th,
That's right.
February 28th.
Because we
One-
just can't get enough basketball.
4 weeks to go until that happens.
But yeah, so girls basketball was fabulous. We had, once again, our 8th grade girls, we only had 5. We started off with 4. One of the girls from last year decided she was going to go to JO volleyball. She wanted to focus on volleyball. So our 4 girls was able to pull in a friend who had played with them when they were younger but didn't play last year. So we had Riley McCarley, Andy Alberts, Brooklyn Kissig, Corey Crowfoot, and then they brought in Chloe Marino. So once again, we had 5 girls, which, we
Gotta be
try
in
and
shape.
Yes, they do not get a break.
Yeah.
So it's great because they finish undefeated on the season and champions again this season.
Did they lose any last year?
No.
So they have not
2
lost
seasons.
yet as a group.
No. So we're
Pretty
super
impressive.
excited,
Yeah.
to see them come up. They have some great chemistry. They've been playing together since 3rd grade. And most of them do a lot of basketball work outside of the season, which, me as the AD, I was super proud of the girls. It's great to see them have that success and get celebrated. But then, they're playing another middle school team where, even in the championship, those girls aren't getting in the gym outside the season. So, you feel a little bit bad for these other girls. But, like I listened to some of the coaches, guys, these girls are in the gym year round. You want to be better, you got to get in the gym. And so it translates and everybody sees it and they know it. So,
Good. Well,
so
hats off
yeah,
to-
so it was
that's our 8th
great.
grade season. Awesome
Yes.
season.
And
And we're
then-
excited to have them next year.
Oh, yeah, we're
up
hoping to
here.
bring them all. I know
Yeah.
that some of my JV girls have already reached out to them to make
Yeah.
sure they're coming. And one of my freshman JV players, she's like, so I talked to Chloe. She says she's coming. I got a screenshot. So next year, I'm holding her to it. I'm like, good.
stuff.
So that's good, too, when they want to make sure that the girls are coming up. And then our 7th grade team, they finished 15-4, and that team consisted of Natalie Austin, Allie Enrico, Tegan Guesswich, who was out all season with an injury. But to her credit, it's one of these things I love to celebrate. She learned how to do the scorebook, and she took care of the scorebook all season, set the scores table, and took care of that for the team and the coaches, which I think is tremendous. Jovi Hartman, Emma Hazel, Ari Heron, Grace Kananen, Peyton Lance, Nevaeh Morton, Iridessa Snow, Annie Stotler, another one who was injured and out the majority of the season, came back late, but she didn't stop coming and showing up. So, that resilience and that dedication to the team and the sport is just invaluable. And then we rounded out with Vivian Tharp, Avery Vaughn, and the 2 teams were coached by Danielle Snowden, one of our middle school teachers, and then Ashley Glebecki, and they do a great job. And it's not just about basketball. They're doing a lot with teaching life skills, and Ashley does a great job with those girls. She had them write letters to their parents, and so they won that trophy, and we've got a nice team picture with all of them because the coaches are making sure the girls know that win is a team win with the parents because of that support network they have.
That's awesome.
So that was a lot of fun.
Yep.
And you had all the girls out at the girls' game on Wednesday.
Yeah, they came out. They had their end of season party here in the building, and then came over, and they were our student section.
Yep.
Thank goodness.
Yeah, they were. I know. 'Cause
They really showed out. Where our high school, I don't know where they were. I guess they thought it was too cold.
They were not here. It was a snow day.
Yes,
I guess.
it was a
We'll
cold
give 'em
day.
a cold
Yeah,
day. We'll give
cold
them a
day.
pass,
Yeah,
whatever. But yeah.
Yeah, so it was good having them sitting there front and center. And then our middle school wrestling, our boys, they are finished. They are now moving into postseason, which is OAC. So now those events and activities are on their own, no longer school sponsored.
Right.
But we do have kids that are going and competing this weekend locally. So excited for what they do. And, our wrestling team isn't huge. We had Ryan Brubaker, Matt Dominish, Luca, Colton, Keegan, Andrew, Austin, Ethan, Clayton, Braden, and Zach. Our coaches were Jason and Jimmy Thomas, which is always, a special thing when you've got a father-son or, parent-child getting the opportunity to coach together
pretty
in
cool.
a sport they both love and sharing that passion with the athletes. And then I just wanted to share a few of the standouts from the season. So they had CVC standouts was Matthew Dominish finished in first place. We had third place finishers at the CVC tournament, Braden Rogers, Luca Giaffinagna, I'm sorry, I'm probably butchering that last name, Keegan Catilla. Fourth place finisher was Andrew Kissig, and the team overall finished in the CVC in 7th place. They also went and competed in some other big tournaments. The Green Tournament, Matthew Dominish took first place. The Salem Tournament, our middle schoolers had 23 matches. They had 13 pins, 1 tech, 1 major, and only 8 total losses out of those 23 matches. Then at Twinsburg, the TAB tournament, it's a really big tournament.
Oh, it's one of the biggest in the state
Yes,
for
and
middle
I think
school.
we counted like 36 teams that were there. And for several years, we weren't able to send the wrestlers down there because it conflicted with our CVC tournament. So the CVC made sure to move our tournament so it didn't conflict, to give these wrestlers an opportunity to go to that kind of caliber of a meet. 6 of our boys, it's a 2-day tournament too.
Yeah.
So 6 of our boys made it to day 2.
That's great.
4 of those, Matthew Dominish was one of them, placed. He finished 2nd place, and this was his only loss of the season in that
Wow.
tournament.
Wow.
So Matthew had a phenomenal middle school season.
exciting.
Yeah, and then Colton Harm finished 6th, Andrew Kissig 5th, and Keegan Catilla finished in 6th as well. And then our girls wrestlers, although they're not done, they're still going. They actually got on the road this morning, had an early dismissal. They're heading to, I think it's Bellefontaine.
It is,
For a
Bellefontaine.
2-day tournament
Yes.
with the varsity girls, which is tremendous that Teresa Dominish and the wrestling program does a great job in making sure that those girls have opportunities to travel together since they're small teams. So the middle schoolers get that mentoring, that encouragement from the high school girls, which I think we're going to see is going to pay dividends in the long run as far as those girls sticking with the sport and program. And then the skill sets that they're learning to encourage younger ones as they move out of the middle school and go up. But we only have a few girls. Brianna Hicks, she's right now 15 and 17. And Coach Dominish said they are super impressed as it's her first year wrestling.
That's awesome.
So they are super excited to watch as she continues to grow in her new sport. Reagan Laban is 13-4, but last year she finished 6-13, so she has really flipped the switch
Yeah.
and really going strong. Charlotte Lombardo is at 16-6, but last year she was at 10-11.
Yeah.
So she's really picking it up and
Yeah.
going strong. And then Cora Mann is our most seasoned middle school wrestler, and she is 18-5. So Coach Dominish is very proud of
Yeah.
the success and what's to come. And then our last sport is our boys basketball.
Yeah.
We have our 7th grade right now is just sitting at 3-2. Unfortunately, we've had to shuffle a lot of games between snow days, cold days. So we just have one more game that needs rescheduled. But unfortunately, because like they start after the girls pretty much, and the CVC schedule starts in January after the girls when their tournament starts, and they start playoffs on the 21st. It only gives me a few weeks. So
Yeah.
our middle school boys teams, next week they have 3 games. The following week they have 4 games. And then the week after that they have 3 games. So like the next couple weeks, they're going to have maybe 1 or 2 practices.
No more snow days.
Yeah.
Right? No more
So,
cold days.
Well, because
whatever, right?
yeah, because otherwise we're going to be booking games on Saturdays, you
Right,
know,
right,
or
right.
unfortunately, what I don't want to see happen is them just lose those
Lose
games.
the games, right.
Because the championship, like we said before, is going to be February 28th. So
Right.
we definitely don't want to be playing basketball in March with them because they're going to be getting ready for their spring
their
sports,
spring
and they're
sport.
going to need a little bit of a break.
Yeah, for sure.
And we have Josh Petroselli and Mike Phillip coaching them, and our 8th grade's going really strong. They're 4-1. We got a lot of promising athletes there as well, and some of those boys on that team are spending a lot of time, outside the season in the gym, on top of their other sports,
Right,
in
right.
season sports. So we see a lot of growth there. And then Coach Daysinger, our cheer coach, who stepped in this year, one of our middle school teachers. Her squad dropped in numbers, so we only have 4 girls. We've got Kylie Daysinger, Cora Jones, Valeria Vasquez, and Haley Washington. Coach Daysinger says that Haley Washington has really stepped it up and become a real strong leader on the court. She's confident in her cheer calls, taking initiative, and she is very coachable. This team may be small in number, but they're strong and mighty in heart, persevering through the fact that, like, for example, I think we had we hosted Orange like a week or 2 ago, and they had more cheerleading girls cheering for the boys than we had girls basketball players. So like our 4 girls, I think, that can be a little intimidating, when you've got 4 girls trying to out cheer a dozen or more. But we've got a lot of good things going on and really excited. And, we've got a bright future ahead of us with our youngsters coming up.
Well, it's awesome. Well, thanks for all the work that you do
Yes.
down there, and all of our coaches and our athletes and our families for sticking with us here through all these cancellations and reschedules. And it's just, a lot of schools, when you have a cold day or a snow day, they're not really going to entertain playing a middle
Right.
school game. So
Right.
we've got to. We try to do it at the high school level, especially at the varsity level, because we're up against the OHSAA tournaments at the end of the year. We only have so much time. We've got to get some events in. At the middle school, we're just, a lot of schools just aren't open to it. So you mentioned you're playing 3-4 games in a week is what we're going to deal with here moving forward. But fantastic job as always. Thanks for the update on
Yeah.
the middle school. And
What-
let's talk a little bit about your other project that you do in your
yeah.
spare time.
Yeah, well, we got multiple. So I wanted
yeah,
to, I
okay.
did want to do one notification. So
Yeah.
the weather's crappy. We get, some more people showing up in the PAC,
Yeah.
and we've got those hoops, and we've got a lot of little kids coming in.
Yeah.
And so we had a request from a community member that reached out to me, actually called me and said, hey, don't we have some smaller hoops? So we went on the hunt and we found it.
Yeah.
Frank and I officially, we have a small hoop in the field house now. So for community members that have like some young elementary kids, preschoolers, you want to come up, shoot some hoops, do some walking around the track to get some exercise in. We now have it as soon as you walk in the field house on the left wall, which would be the west wall there. We do have a smaller hoop. We ask it only be used for the little kids, but now they're not like trying to chuck it up to the regulation hoop. It's more adjusted to their age and size so that they can get a little bit in there. And then our new project you're talking about,
Yeah.
we're looking at through grants
Yeah.
and things that the high school has, we are looking at starting a Spirit Store. It's going to start small. It's going to start in-house. We've already got our POs in for ordering some heat presses, hat presses. We're right now working on design of transfers, looking for cloth to get in, and we've found a space. So we've toured Riverside's team store,
Yep.
and then Coach Ned Zwicky and I went to South last week, who has a
right.
phenomenal store, and they do a tremendous job. They take care of all the spirit wear for the entire district, North and South.
Wow.
And so we learned a lot. She shared a lot with us. And she said the one thing when they built the new school was, what do you want? She said, I want a bookstore.
Yeah.
They gave it to her, and I was like, oh my gosh, if only we had that. Well,
Yeah.
then what was it, yesterday?
Yeah. Just
Yesterday or the day before.
Breaking news.
Yeah, breaking news. This is like fresh, hot off the
Yeah,
press.
right.
So I get a phone call. Hey, Mindy, we've got this great space. So Ashley and I went and toured it. Coach Platt and I went through it today, and the plan is next week have a space where actually when this school was built, they did that. We have a quote bookstore between the theater and the cafeteria. It's even like the goal, hopefully, my vision is to see it opened as a store with store hours being student run, with a store manager, with a marketing team, with kids helping with the accounting, the inventory, the heat pressing, and utilizing different groups of students throughout the district, including our PAVE students, in helping with filling the orders, folding, bagging, and delivering of orders. But we are so super excited. I'll have display windows in there that
Yeah.
we can decorate, hang stuff in. We've already located and found some merchandising racks
Yeah.
here in the building, and I had one at home. I was like, I'll just bring that in too.
Yeah.
And then we found some. And so I'm super excited because I just feel like that space isn't going to just be an introductory place for us to learn
Yeah.
the business and learn and grow, but it could be a permanent home where we've got lots of room to grow. And Coach Platt and I are both super excited, and we're looking forward to bringing in a lot of other staff. And Miss Milky and Miss Haas have been very
Yeah.
helpful using and sharing their expertise with
Yeah.
us in what they already do in the building.
Well, a much needed. We talked about it. This is my 15th year, 16th
Yes.
year, whatever, and that we've always needed
Yes.
a space like this, and now it's coming to fruition. And you're putting a lot of time and effort into it, touring different places. Shout out to Mr. Nidzwicki and Mr. Platt
Yes.
for helping with the grant portion of
Right.
it and getting us. And it's ultimately our idea that you're going to be able to walk in to the building, check in with the office, of course.
Correct.
That you're going to go to the Spirit Store or the bookstore, whatever we're going to call it.
Right.
We got to come up.
Yeah, we gotta come up with a
Chat
name still.
GPT maybe.
Yeah.
Did I say that
Pirate
right?
Cove, the treasure chest,
whatever.
something
But you can be
pirate
walk
related.
in and you can buy a hoodie or you can buy
Right.
a shirt or a pair of shorts or a hat, and it's we've never had that before.
No.
But we also are excited because we're going to have an online presence as well.
Yes.
And you'll be able to order things online and have it delivered. If you're the parent, we could deliver it to your kid here in
Correct.
5th grade or
Yeah,
ninth
or
grade
yep.
or wherever they are. We'll find them and we'll deliver it to them. They bring it home. So
Right.
it's an exciting time to get something like this off the ground that's been much needed.
Yeah, and we'll just ask for some patience as we
Yeah.
learn and develop. But I'm excited because it's going to be all student.
Yeah.
It's going to be, we're just mentoring
Yeah.
and assisting and giving them the space, giving them the tools. But they're going to be having the opportunity to build real life business experience for those
Yeah.
kids that are interested in business, if they're interested in finance, if they're interested in marketing, if they're interested in being a business owner, if they're interested in design, then now we're adding a whole nother element. Now it's not going to be a class. This will be something extra, which is even better, because it's just going to be extra time. And hopefully we'll be able to get it to where we can do like pop-up shops, at football games and provide spirit wear for the student section or spirit wear on demand at a swim invitational, the wrestling Pin City, or, something special. So super excited.
Well, stay tuned to that. We'll have updates as we go here,
Yes.
and we'll have you back on the show in a couple of weeks to sort of give a little preview or maybe a follow-up to the boys' basketball end of season and girls wrestling. I
Yes.
think are the two things we've got left. So and it's a project in process, and we'll give some updates.
Yeah,
as to where
and
that
we're
goes.
also going to run, I don't even know how long. Do you know how long it's been since we've done an indoor track meet? We are in the process.
A long time.
Spire
More than
had
15 years,
offered-
I can
yeah,
tell you that.
Spire had offered to host middle school indoor track
Yeah.
this year. So we have two coaches, Coach Renown, Coach Sarvis, who are volunteering their time to work with middle school athletes who are not currently in a sport to help give them the opportunity to learn track, to give them some experience before outdoor track starts. So they've been working with them 3 days a week. And unfortunately, Spire has not been able to get enough interest from schools to get the events going. So they've had to cancel. So I felt bad. TJ and I talked. We talked to Coach Runau. And so we are now hosting an indoor track meet here on February 18th. So we
the
are
middle
super
school.
excited. Yeah, just for the middle school. But it'll give them, they put in all this work.
Yeah.
It'll give them the opportunity to compete with Geneva's going to come, and we're looking at one other school to possibly
Yeah.
come and join.
Awesome. Well, great job. As always, Mindy, thanks for your time.
Thank
Appreciate
you.
it. We'll look forward to having you back in a few weeks.
Okay.
Exciting times here, and it's, leading into our next topic will be girls basketball.
Sure.
More excitement. 13-3 overall, undefeated in the CVC with our win over Orange, as we talked about there quickly. 10-0 in the conference. Back-to-back champs, or is that 3 in a row? We've dominated the CVC
Yes.
over the last couple of years, and hats off to Coach Infalvi and all of our players and our families. We're currently 3rd in the Max Preps RPI, so that's out of 40 teams. So we're sitting pretty for the postseason tournament. We do have some tough games coming
Yes.
up, though.
Well, that's
And,
the part now where opposite of the boys, the girls will
Yeah.
actually have these tough teams at home. So
Yeah, true,
you have
true.
Chagrin Falls coming tomorrow, Gilmore,
Yeah.
Riverside, Grand Valley. I'm sure I forgot somebody else in that.
Rootstown.
Rootstown, that's it. Yeah, and they were division
yeah.
or state qualifier last
Yeah.
year. And they played a very good game out there last year
Yeah.
against Rootstown as well. But yeah, it's an exciting time for the girls over these next week and a half or so. I mean, their season is over on February 14th, and
It's
then playoffs
crazy.
begin.
They do, and our draw for that is on February 8th, so Super Bowl Sunday. Coach Infalvi has to go to a meeting, albeit online, at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. That's where we determine where we'll be playing in the postseason. So it's based on that overall RPI number. Again, we're 3rd right now out of 40. We'll pretty much have our choice of where we want to go. And really the only question is who do we play, when do we play? We'll be a host through the district final in all likelihood. So and the girls have certainly earned that with the way they've played this year. So again, congratulations to them. CVC champs officially now, and exciting for the postseason. And we really get to play some really tough competition. That can help us for the postseason. So win or lose against a Gilmore or a Riverside. I saw what Riverside did the other day to Mayfield. I mean, they beat them by like 30 plus.
And it was tied after one.
It was tied after one quarter, and they win by 30. So that tells you how potent they are and how strong they are on the girls' basketball side. So we're going to have, the good news again, it's going to get us better for the postseason. But the only 2 games that are going to count towards our ranking will be the next 2. So Chagrin Falls on Saturday and Gilmore on Wednesday, and then all of the stuff is due Friday night at midnight, and then the draw is on Sunday.
Yeah, so it's an exciting time for the girls. Like I said, a lot of games are coming up, quality competition coming up here to Spectator Gymnasium over the next 2 weeks. So get out here
Yeah,
and
come on
support
out,
the girls.
without a doubt.
Aubrey Hopkins named CVC
Yeah,
Player,
CVC
of, the
Player of the Week.
as well. Well-deserved. She, as a freshman, we talked about her a little bit last week with her brother when he
Yeah.
was here. Just having a phenomenal year, and what she's been able to do as a freshman has been very valuable, not just to the team, but to Coach Infalvi and all.
She does not look like a freshman
Yeah.
on the floor. She plays with a lot of poise, and like she's been there forever, sort of like a seasoned veteran. And so hats off, well-deserved honor for Aubrey.
And Coach Allen mentioned what girls wrestling is doing, so let's go to the boys' side. I passed them getting on the bus as
Yes.
we were coming in to tape the pod, but they're heading out
Yeah.
to Hawkins.
Hawken for the Chagrin Valley Conference Championships this weekend. It's a 2-day tournament. They start at 5 p.m. tonight out at Hawken, and then we'll be there all day tomorrow as well. But looking to win another CVC championship on the boys wrestling side. Girls are down in Bellefontaine, high school, middle school combo. Again, that's a 2-day tournament as well. And then the girls are at Conneaut next Sunday. And the boys start to taper off a little bit here as we get towards sectionals and on the individual side. But where we don't taper is on our team dual side. And that's sort of the exciting portion of the season from a team perspective. Next Saturday, we travel to West Geauga to participate in the state dual tournament. We will wrestle Padua and then West Geauga if all goes well. And if we win both of those matches, we'd be qualified for the state tournament the following weekend on Valentine's Day down in Columbus. So I know my wife might not like that, but I'm hoping I'm in Columbus on Valentine's Day supporting our wrestlers.
I might be down there with you. I'm
Okay, yeah.
thinking about working a girls' basketball
There you
game
go.
down there, Ohio State and I think Iowa. So
Okay,
I'll
excellent.
definitely be in touch if that
All right,
if that
perfect.
happens.
Excellent.
Girls and boys swimming. Brody Hicks, Noel Griffin, both named CVC MVPs. They had their senior night. They unfortunately had a meet canceled earlier this
Yeah.
week, but they're back in action on Monday.
They're back in action on Monday, and again, we're sort of in that taper period, and we can talk about that as we get to it. But next weekend will be their sectionals already. Next Friday, out at Cleveland State, Spire is hosting a major collegiate event, so the sectional and the district tournament this year will be at Cleveland State. But yeah, Brody and Noel Griffith are both MVPs, boys and girls respectively, and well deserved. And we swim in a tough league. For those of you who don't know, that's we're going up against some pretty high quality teams out there, and so well deserved honors for them. And I know they both have some postseason honors, as do some of our other. Whether it's a relay, Traxton and diving again, he's getting back to being healthy, and so again, now we're at the sort of the cusp of that postseason run here, and we'll see what happens. Exciting.
We talked about Riverside a little bit earlier. That's where our girls gymnastics team will be on Saturday.
Yeah, they'll compete against Riverside over at Legs in Mentor at 10:30 in the morning. There'll probably be some other teams knowing how that setup works over there. Mentor's always there, Chardon's always there, as Marley had said a couple of weeks ago. But out at Legs 10:30 on Saturday morning, and then they're going to be short order. They're going to start their postseason runs here in terms of sectionals, districts, and state tournament for gymnastics.
And then boys and girls bowling. I think last week you were talking about the season is almost over. Like they seem like they just started, and it's to the finish line already.
It is. So our CVC tournament is hosted by Berkshire this coming Sunday. So boys and our girls team right now we only have 2. So we can't do a full team thing with only 2, but the boys are going to be in action, and then we've got them in the OHSA postseason tournament, that sectional tournament, the following weekend. So here we go. It's really upon us now in terms of that all of these postseason runs will start commencing pretty quickly.
Yeah, so a lot we covered. I mean,
Long
this is
show
probably
today.
one of our longer ones, but
Yes.
a lot going on here in Perry Athletics, and as these seasons start to wind down, the postseason berths are going to start coming, and you get to the end of multiple seasons for a lot of these winter sports teams.
Yep, exciting time for sure. Again, boys tonight over at West G, wrestling over at Hawken. Girls basketball tomorrow, 12:15 JV game, 1 p.m. varsity girls wrestling out at Bellefontaine. It's another busy weekend here. It's going to be brutally cold tomorrow morning, but by the time we play at noon and later tomorrow, all should be well. So we appreciate you tuning in. We know it was a long show today. Lots of information, a lot of really good information out there to cover. Until next week, we'll be back for week 21. Go Pirates.